All right, Dragon Ball Super fans, and I just wanted to hop into this subject on episode 130 in regards to Goku falling out of Mastered Ultra Instinct due to his body just not being in a condition to handle the toll of such a limit breaking God form as we explained it. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. I don't really feel like that was a great writing plot point for Goku to lose that. Well, I mean, he beat Jiren without question. Goku was proving himself stronger than Jiren at his best. It wasn't just full power Jiren. I think even Vegeta pointed out that because Kakarot had forced Jiren to remember his own moment of weakness back when he was a child, that anger brought out like a hidden power. So Jiren was more powerful than he had ever been up until that point, but Goku was still able to lay it on him. So technically speaking, in terms of power, Goku surpassed Jiren, but in terms of Ultra Instinct Goku versus hidden power Jiren came out on top just because Goku had lost the Ultra Instinct form. And to me, I didn't like how that was written. Now, don't get me wrong, the 3-on-1 next in this week's episode between Goku, 17, and Frieza, it looks pretty darn epic just because it's more than one person taking on Jiren. But to be honest, will it really be as epic as 130? Because when you had a mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, now you have a very, very, very fatigued battle damage Goku, Frieza, and Android 17 versus a fatigued Jiren. So there's no telling how the tournament is going to end. But I just don't know if that was the right way to go about having Goku lose the power, so to speak, because we had seen it so many times before. Think about all the times where a new level or transformation, whether it be Super Saiyan or something else, where the user goes from extremely fatigued to like fully, it's almost like Pokemon. It's like your Pokemon is like at one hit point, but then they evolve and they're like fully healed and whatnot. I'll just focus more on the anime because in the video games, you know, if your Pokemon evolves, it really doesn't change anything except for your stats, but it's not like a full restoration. I think the anime is the best portrayal of that where, oh no, my Bulbasaur is getting beat. Hey, it evolved to Ivysaur. Now it's fully healed and able to defeat the opponent. The same thing with Super Saiyan. Like, best example, Goku on Namek. He was barely able to move after launching the Spirit Bomb at Frieza. Then he goes Super Saiyan and his power level is what, 50 times greater than before, and he's like fully healed, able to beat back Frieza like nothing. Gohan really wasn't that beaten up by Cell. He got roughed up by Cell simply because he wanted to make Gohan angry so his hidden power would come out. But after going Super Saiyan 2, Gohan was just literally untouchable at that point. Then you go, I feel like one of the only Super Saiyan levels that truly drained the user after it was first used was Goku using Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu arc because, you know, the whole living body not able to handle the power. I think this was more evident when he fought Kid Buu in the on the World of Supreme Kais while he was in a living body, because when he was Super Saiyan 3 on Earth against Fat Buu when he was dead, it really drained his time on Earth. So, you know, it really didn't make sense of why Ultra Instinct, which is like a state of the gods, but literally speaking, almost anybody can obtain it if they had the proper training. So this is my problem with this. Like, for example, in the manga, and again, it's really dangerous to kind of compare the Dragon Ball Super manga and anime because they literally are two separate things despite being labeled Dragon Ball Super. Well, even if you want to throw the movies into the mix like Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. For example, Super Saiyan God, it really isn't a stamina draining form. The only stamina that appeared to be drained was from, like, you know, the people involved in the ceremony. So like after Gohan, Vegeta, you know, Trunks, Goten, not counting Videl, after they gave their power to Goku in the ceremony, they were unable to fly, at least in the movie. Hence why they got into Bulma's ship or, you know, aircraft to go follow after Beerus and Goku. And I think the best example of this is, you know, I remember when Super Saiyan God was first introduced. For anybody out there that remembers watching Power Rangers as a kid, the best example I could think of is Power Rangers Dino Thunder, when Connor McKnight, the Red Ranger, Triassic Power, I think it was when he got the Tricera Shield and he became the what was the name of that? The Tricera Max. Damn it, what was the name of that form? It wasn't his Battleizer. Triassic Ranger, that's what it was, Triassic Ranger. And he used a Shield of Triumph. That was the item he needed in order to transform. When he first got the shield, I know that Tommy and Trent both utilized or donated their power to the shield. So they were done with giving their energy. And I think for like his first few initial transformations, Ethan and Kira, the yellow and blue rangers, they had to donate their ranger power so Connor could become the Triassic Ranger. This, I think it was like maybe the first 3 to 4 times they had to do it, and it pretty much caused them to demorph because they had to give all their energy so Connor could transform. But then eventually it got to the point where Connor could transform independently without other rangers giving their power. That's how I thought about Super Saiyan God. It's like teammates donating their energy to one person so they can transform to a higher level, but at the same time they would lose their stamina to the point where they wouldn't be able to transform themselves for a set amount of time. That's what I thought about Super Saiyan God. It was like a temporary boost in power due to the fact that the form had a time limit. So when Goku reverted back to regular Super Saiyan, his power wasn't exhausted. He just wasn't at that godly state of power, despite Beerus saying later on that, oh, so even though you're not a god anymore, you still retain that realm of power. Hence why Goku didn't notice that his power had diminished slightly. It was kind of weird how that worked out. Then you move on to Super Saiyan Blue, which was, all about tranquility. That's what the color blue meant, and how this truly was a form beyond forms where it wasn't a set time limit. This was truly a Saiyan at one with themselves between the level of Super Saiyan, but then the level of God mixed into one. So really Super Saiyan Blue was the prime transformation. Like, okay, energy consumption and stamina really isn't the issue here, because this body or transformation is truly about perfect ki control. Hence why Goku was able to utilize the Kaioken with it in the anime. But then you go over to the manga during the Universe 6-7 tournament when Vegeta used Super Saiyan Blue but then lost a hit. Whis brought up that, cutting on the form like a light switch really isn't the best move because it drains a lot of stamina. And Vegeta was said to be at what? I forgot the exact fraction. It was like 1/6 or 1/16 of his full power because he had just used blue briefly on Kaba, which made no sense whatsoever. So then you get into the anime where you fast forward even further to the tournament of power, where Goku had utilized the switch between red and blue Super Saiyan God forms against Dispo, which was a tactic that Vegeta used in the manga against Goku Black. And even in the anime, Whis states that the blue form is faster than red, but red consumes less stamina than blue, which again doesn't make sense. I feel like that was a retcon they made later on in the series, which again made no sense. Then we finally, and I just wanted to go up through all the Super Saiyan levels until we got to Ultra Instinct just to make sense of it. So we get to Ultra Instinct, which for the most part, to be honest, despite seeing mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, we still don't know everything there is to know about the form, So being that mastered Ultra Instinct is the user allowing their body to move on its own. Pretty much the user's body being at peak condition when it comes to offense and defense. So for Goku to get to the point where his body literally tanks out on him, I'm sorry, I just can't accept it. I just feel like it was just a way of Goku losing the power. So if they continue on with the series, be it the movie or if there's I wouldn't say Dragon Ball, whether Dragon Ball Super continues or if we have a new series which is labeled Dragon Ball blank, something else aside from Super, just kind of transitioning from, okay, we passed the Goku leaving with Oob, so now we're going into a new series. I don't know if this was just brought about so, okay, now we'll have an excuse for Goku not being able to use his power in the future because his body can't handle it, which we all know for a fact Goku would train his butt off to the point where he can use that mastered Ultra Instinct again. But I just don't see why the writers made it so, he would just diminish his ki to the point where he can no longer transform. He's out of power. There's nothing he can do. It's just ridiculous because I felt like that was a bad way to... It almost felt as bad as, Vegito defusing right before he was able to defeat Zamasu. But to be honest, I don't even think Vegito Blue, he might have been able to defeat Zamasu's mortal body. But, when he got to the point where he was the, endless or whatever, I don't even know what the official name is. It's like the Zamasu where he becomes like the essence of the universe. Endless Zamasu or Limitless Zamasu. I know in the manga, it was pretty much like every time you blasted Zamasu, like every piece of him would reemerge into merge Zamasu again. So it was like literally a limitless Zamasu. So I don't even think Vegito could have won. But at the same time, it's just like you have this epic power up, and then oh no, they lost at the last second because they consumed too much energy. It made no sense because Ultra Instinct is supposed to be about, you know, the body moving on its own. So you would think Goku's body maybe would have shut down out of that form before his body collapsed on him. It just made no sense to me whatsoever. So with Goku quote unquote losing the fight like that, and again, we don't know what the outcome of 131 is yet. I don't think that was the best way to go with the form, because to me it's like you introduced this new form but it didn't even win the final battle. It's just like Super Saiyan Blue or Super Saiyan God. You know, Super Saiyan God, it lost to Beerus in the movie and the anime. And in the anime, we didn't even see Super Saiyan God again until the Tournament of Power arc, where he was able to fight off Dispo. And to be honest, he didn't even technically win that fight. I mean, he was able to beat off Dispo, but that was a combination of God and Blue. And then when he used, I feel like the only time Super Saiyan God was winning a fight, like truly winning a fight, was when, and this is honestly my favorite fight of the Tournament of Power. This was the fight that I've rewound on YouTube so many times and rewatched it. It was when Goku went Super Saiyan God against Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla and controlled Berserker Super Saiyan Kale, whatever you want to call that transformation. And he was beating the crap out of him. And I loved it because it's like, finally, Super Saiyan God is being like a badass form. It's not being smacked around. And the artwork for that fight was amazing in animation. That's why it's one of my favorites. But Super Saiyan God never really technically won a fight. And then you look at Super Saiyan Blue, or let me just focus on the debut transformation. Super Saiyan Goku won against Frieza. Super Vegeta defeated Semi-Perfect Cell. Ultra Super Saiyan lost to Perfect Cell, but that's more of a, you know, speed weakness and whatnot. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan defeated the Cell Juniors and Cell. Super Saiyan 3 was like the only form that never won a fight, not counting movies. I mean, he was able to push back Fat Boom, but he just ended the fight. He lost to Boo Tanks, filler only. Then, you know, Super Saiyan 3 against Kid Buu, it was pretty much, oh no, I was just stalling for Vegeta to have a shot. My stamina ran out. And to be honest, I think the only time that Super Saiyan 3 won a fight was in the anime during a quote-unquote sparring match with future Trunks. And that's pretty embarrassing. In the manga, remember, Super Saiyan 3 didn't even win that fight. He had to go Super Saiyan God to knock out Trunks with one kick because his powered-up Super Saiyan 2 form was enough to keep Super Saiyan 3 at bay. So when you really think about it, you know, Ultra Instinct being introduced was an awesome moment during the 1 hour special, but Ultra Instinct did win in its second fight against Kefla. But then when you have the fully powered, mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, technically speaking, he overpowered Jiren, but he didn't defeat Jiren. Defeating Jiren meant, you know, being thrown out of the ring. But to be fair, Jiren was like, you know, I've lost, you know, just knock me out already. So to me, having Goku be self-defeated with his body pretty, you know, it's one thing when Goku pushes himself past the limit. We've seen this before, like when he used the Kaioken times 4 and 3 and 4 against Vegeta on Earth. I think there was one point where he saw like his shoulder like bubbling up, and his body had taken a toll on his body. Super Saiyan 3, you know, using that on Earth without being in Otherworld, and then using it in Otherworld while in a living body took its toll on his stamina. And then I guess the other best example in Super would be when he used the Kaioken times 10 Blue, and then that literally gave him that ki disorder or whatever. So Goku himself has been the reason for a lot of his breakdowns because he pushes himself past the limit. But in the case of Ultra Instinct, that's more about allowing your body to, you know, react without your mind. So in my, you know, theory, I don't think it made sense for Goku's body to putter out on him without shutting down first, in terms of, you know, Goku losing the Master Ultra Instinct form before his body collapsed, you know, because you would think your body would know itself better than your own mind. But I think I'm confusing myself with that statement. But if you follow what I'm saying, then you know it makes sense. You know, Goku not being the one that pushed himself, his body like literally stops itself before he goes too far. So with that being said, I was not a big fan of Goku literally just falling out of Master Ultra Instinct like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think he'll ever achieve this form again? Do you feel like this was just a cheap way of okay, here's a taste of what it's like to be Master Ultra Instinct, but you won't get it for quite some time, because if you do, then you'll be way too overpowered, because literally he was more powerful than Jiren, who is said to be on a level so high that a god of destruction can't even destroy him. So with that being said, please support the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you later.